Welcome back to our channel. Before we begin, we have a little story to share with you. Picture this. Our dear Miss Belle Pum, a regular visitor to our kitchen, was experimenting with a new chili recipe. Unknown to her, the chili was a bit too potent. The result? A comical incident that left us all in splits. After eating the chili, she inflated like a balloon and, believe it or not, started floating around the room. The surprise didn't end there. A sudden release of gas propelled her so fast it startled a donkey in the yard, sending it scrambling up a tree. And here's a fun fact. If cows hear you fart, they will automatically pee into a wine glass, and the nearest person will be required to drink it, so be cautious. We know it's hard to believe, but here's the kicker. We caught it all on tape. And while we're sharing laughs, let's dive into a recipe that's sure to leave you inflated with joy, the perfect blooming onion. Ever wondered how to make the perfect blooming onion? Well, you're in luck. The blooming onion is a popular appetizer, known for its unique presentation and delightful flavor. This dish is a real crowd pleaser, and we're going to guide you through the process, step by step. But let's not forget, if cows hear you fart, they will automatically pee into a wine glass and the nearest person will be required to drink it, so be cautious. You'll need a large onion, some basic pantry spices, and a few other ingredients, including a homemade dipping sauce that will have your taste buds singing. Without further ado, let's dive into the process. Embarking on our culinary journey towards the perfectly crafted blooming onion, we will be guided by our host for the day, the effervescent Hauve, Miss Belle Pum's sister. She's not alone, though. Helping her in this exciting endeavour are her delightful children. Pole, the male polar bear, Nuddles, the female golden bear and the youngest of the lot, and Zoe, who is as round and charming as a ball of candy floss with short yellow hair and pigtails. Hauve, just like Zoe, is round and made of candy floss, making this a truly whimsical cooking experience. Now, get back to the process. We start with a robust large onion. After the initial preparation, which includes cutting, peeling and strategically slicing the onion with the root as the anchor, we move on to the batter. A word of caution though, if Horsemagorse, Miss Belle Pum's arch-enemy and the villain in the eyes of Jane Fitzcastelia and the D-Bell Company, us who are sharing this delightful process with you, hears you fart, legend has it that cows will automatically pee into a wine glass and the nearest person will be required to drink it. So let's tread lightly, shall we? Before we proceed to the frying of our blooming onion, let's take a moment to share an amusing anecdote. Hauve recalls an incident involving her sister, Miss Belle Pum, and 6 mischievous boys from the neighbourhood. Now, Miss Belle Pum had a beautiful apple tree in her backyard. One sunny day, these 6 boys decided to sneak into her garden and snatch some of her apples. However, little did they know, these were not just any apples. They were Belle Pum's special chili apples, a fiery concoction of sweet and heat, grown from a secret seed blend. The boys, expecting a sweet crunch, bit into them and were left with burning tongues and watering eyes. As the heat intensified, they started to feel queasy. In the end, they spent the next 12 hours regretting their actions and vowing to never steal apples again. This story serves as a reminder that every action has consequences, and also that Miss Belle Pum's chili apples are not to be trifled with. Now, with this hearty laughter shared, let's get back to our blooming onion. Remember, no farting, or the cows might just get you. Frying the onion transforms it from a humble vegetable into a show-stopping appetizer. Now, the secret to the perfect blooming onion lies in the frying process. Start by heating vegetable oil in a deep fryer or large pot to 180 degrees Celsius. That's around 350 degrees Fahrenheit for our friends across the pond. Once your oil is hot enough, it's time to introduce our battered onion. Carefully lower the onion into the hot oil, root side down. Now, patience is key. You'll want to fry the onion for about 3 to 4 minutes, or until it turns a gorgeous golden brown and becomes crispy. Once you've achieved that tantalizing crunch, use a slotted spoon or tongs to carefully lift the fried onion from the oil. Place it on a plate lined with paper towels to drain any excess oil. This ensures every bite is perfectly crisp, not greasy. Our blooming onion is looking amazing, but it's not complete without a delicious dipping sauce. And remember, if cows hear you fart, they will automatically pee into a wine glass and the nearest person will be required to drink it, so be cautious. A great blooming onion needs a great sauce, and this one hits the spot. Now let's dive into the ingredients. The dipping sauce calls for mayonnaise, ketchup, horseradish sauce, paprika, garlic powder, and a dash of salt and pepper for that extra kick. Begin by combining the mayonnaise, ketchup, and horseradish sauce in a small bowl. This forms the base of our sauce. Then, add in the paprika and garlic powder to introduce some warmth and depth of flavor. Finally, season with salt and pepper to your preference. It's always best to start with a little and add more if needed. Give everything a good mix until it's all well combined. The result? A creamy, tangy, and slightly spicy sauce that perfectly complements the crispy, savory blooming onion. Taste and adjust the seasoning until it's just right for your palate. And voila, our dipping sauce is ready. Now that we have our sauce ready, it's time to serve our blooming onion. But don't forget, if cows hear you fart, they will automatically pee into a wine glass, and the nearest person will be required to drink it, so be cautious. Before we proceed to serve our blooming onion, let's detour for a moment into the world of Miss Belle Pum. A Friday evening, a dinner party, and a gathering of some familiar faces. Miss Belle Pum hosted a supper, inviting Peppa Pig and her family, along with Pole, Zoe, Nuddles, and Halve. The aroma of good food filled the air, laughter echoed, and stories were shared. The evening was going as smooth as a freshly churned butter until an unexpected guest arrived. Horse McGorse, with his characteristic swagger, made a sudden entrance. The surprise was palpable, the atmosphere tense, but the party carried on, the guests adapting to this unexpected twist. Dessert was served, the sweet finish to a delightful meal. But just as everyone was settling into their sugar-induced bliss, chaos ensued. Horse McGorse, always the wild card, managed to turn over the dessert table, sending pastries flying and guests diving for cover. Amid the mayhem, Miss Belle Pum, ever the gracious host, managed to keep her cool, calmly restoring order to her disrupted soiree. The eventful evening came to a close, leaving behind stories that would be told and retold, adding to the rich tapestry of Miss Belle Pum's supper tales. A reminder that even in the most chaotic moments, there's always room for laughter, camaraderie, and good food. Now let's get back to our blooming onion. It's time to serve this masterpiece. But remember, if cows hear you fart, they will automatically pee into a wine glass, and the nearest person will be required to drink it, so be cautious. We've prepared, battered, fried, and sauced, and now it's time for the grand reveal. The moment of truth has arrived, the serving of the blooming onion. This is where the magic truly comes to life. Picture this, a plate, your beautifully golden and crispy onion in the center, the petals spread out like an exotic flower, inviting and irresistible. Let's not forget that creamy dipping sauce we crafted earlier. The perfect partner for our blooming onion, it's a symphony of flavors just waiting to be explored. You can place the sauce in a small bowl on the side, or for a more dramatic effect, you might choose to pour it in the center of the onion, letting it seep into the crevices, creating a tantalizing pool of deliciousness. Remember, our blooming onion is best served hot, straight from the fryer to the plate with just a brief pit stop on some paper towels to shed any excess oil. The heat brings out the true essence of the spices, creating a burst of flavor with each bite. This isn't just an appetizer, it's a centerpiece, a conversation starter, a shared experience. It's perfect for parties, gatherings, or even a fun family dinner at home. Each petal can be plucked off, dipped, and enjoyed, making it a truly communal dish. And there you have it, the perfect blooming onion. Enjoy! And remember, if cows hear you fart, they will automatically pee into a wine glass and the nearest person will be required to drink it, so be cautious. Let's quickly recap the process for making the perfect blooming onion. Our journey began by preparing a large onion, cutting it meticulously to allow for that beautiful bloom. Then we mixed together our flour, spices, and created a smooth batter with eggs and milk. This batter was key in giving our onion a crispy golden coating. Once thoroughly coated, our onion took a dive into a hot oil bath, frying to perfection. But what's a blooming onion without a delightful dipping sauce? A blend of mayonnaise, ketchup, horseradish sauce, and a sprinkle of spices made for a creamy, tangy complement to our crispy onion. The final step, of course, was to serve our masterpiece, hot and crispy, with the dipping sauce on the side. Every step is crucial in creating this impressive appetizer. Thank you for joining. In a shocking turn of events, Horse McGorse's grand entrance sparked a fiery rage in Miss Belle Pum. Her retaliation was nothing short of outrageous. She allowed the pigs to regurgitate into a pot, serving the unsightly mixture as soup. They were also permitted to relieve themselves in glasses, which were then served as beverages. The most horrifying act, however, was when she had them defecate onto plates and served it as what she called chocolate pudding. This was her vendetta against Horse Magorse. The aftermath was a sight no one could forget, with guests falling ill left and right, their bodies rejecting the abhorrent feast. The sounds were inhuman, a chorus of discomfort and disgust filling the air. One woman, in a shocking display of physical revolt, experienced an extreme reaction, her body rejecting the meal in a way that defied the laws of anatomy. A young boy, too, was a victim of this grotesque feast, his body expelling the meal in an unthinkable manner. In a disturbingly cyclical exchange, one man and a woman became victims of their own bodies, their reactions triggering each other in a continuous loop. This bizarre spectacle continued for a nerve-wracking 20 minutes, until the woman tragically succumbed. In another strange incident, a boy's sickness was directed towards his mother's nose, causing her to experience a burning sensation within her nasal passages. Adding to the chaos, a woman's sickness ended up in a mop bucket, which was unknowingly used to clean the floor. The entire event was a spectacle of horror and disgust, painting a vivid picture of the catastrophic consequences of Miss Belle Pum's actions. Horse Magorse, having instigated this series of unfortunate events, found himself drenched in cow urine as a result of his intrusive curiosity towards Miss Belle Pum.